Today we are making a video on Fedora LXDE Live 38. This is a desktop spin of Fedora 38. So here is the boot menu, and in order to boot it in a live boot you need to click on or enter like a start Fedora LXDE Live. It's going to boot it in a live boot. So these are other available options: the test this media and start Fedora LXDE Live. This is to test the ISO file and this is to troubleshoot the ISO. So let's boot it in a live boot. It's going to take a maximum of 1 minute or a minimum of 30 to 40 seconds. So it's a LXDE desktop environment or a desktop spin. I already made a lot of desktop spins of Fedora 38. If you want to check that out, you can check that out, which is available in my channel already. So Fedora was released like a week before, or like 65 days. So this is a stable version of Fedora LXDE desktop spin. LXDE and LXQT are the lightweight desktop spins. So let's hope it will boot it in a few seconds. And I forgot to mention that I'm running it on a virtualization, which is a VMware with 80 GB of hard disk, 4 GB of RAM and 2 processors in it. So, and I forgot other thing, which is I will be posting 2 videos daily. So there is already a content available in the YouTube. If you want to check that out, you can check that out after watching this video completely. There is also another video. If you want to check that out, watch this video completely and go to this one. So it should be taking like a few more seconds and we should be having our desktop layout completely loaded. Just a few seconds, I guess. And as you can see, there is a mouse pointer here with a highlighted color. I don't see a highlighter because that's only available in the, I said that in the recordings. So here is our welcome screen or the desktop completely loaded. So let's first change the display resolution. So it automatically changes the display setting because I'm using a VMware, which I already mentioned. So if you're installed on your hard disk, so you should be changing on your own by going to application menu, preference and the monitor settings. So again, there is a tip from me. If you want to use or if you want to install it on your main PC or a hard disk or a work PC, it's always a better option to boot it in a live boot first and work with like 7 to 6 hours. If you don't find any bugs, then go with the installation. Don't just download and directly install it, because there should be some bugs. Even it's a stable version, sometimes there should be some bugs. So that's a tip from me. I don't want you to ruin your PC, so that's a good tip from me. So let's first go to the system monitor if it's available. Let's go to the system tools and open the not the LX terminal. Let's open task manager, which is a system monitor for the LXDE. And the CPU is almost a 16% and the RAM is almost a 522 MB. I already mentioned that I'm using a 4 GB of RAM for my VMware. So as you can see, there is a 523 MB, which is completely a lightweight desktop environment. The LXDE and LXQT are the best in lightweight Linux desktop environment. So CPU is going crazy and the RAM is also a bit going high now. I don't know why, maybe some of resources consuming there. So these are all the processes running right now. So let's check about the LX task, which is a 0.1.10 or 10. I'm going to open the task manager again at the end of the video, so you should be having an idea of how much resources are consuming at the starting of the video and ending of the video, and you can judge on your own to use this Linux distro or the desktop spin or not on your own. So it's going high. I don't know why it's constantly going high on the CPU and the memory also. So let's quit it and open the terminal, which is a LX terminal in the LXDE. So the LX terminal is a 0.4.0. Let's type in few commands to get the complete distro information, which is inxi-sv8. Command not found. So let's try to install the inxi first by typing sudo dnf install inxi. Let's hope it works. Waiting for the process with the PID 2270 to finish. I think it should take a few seconds, I guess. So there are updates available, which are 224 updates available. So you need to type in Y, which is yes, and N for no to install. I typed Y and it should take a few seconds to download. Let's wait for a few seconds. Right now it's a 433 and let's type in again Y So it should be taking a few seconds. Instead of waiting for this, let's go to the internet browser, which is Midori. Usually it should be like Firefox in every desktop and desktop spin or the Linux distro, because that's the default web browser for everything. But in the lightweight, you will be getting Medora or the Falcon sometimes. So let's check off the browser. Midori web browser 9.0. It's a lightweight. That's the reason. LXDE also lightweight. So they are using the lightweight apps here. So let's type in the system, which is Fedora 38 desktop spin. I already made a lot of videos of Fedora 38 desktop spins. I completed every desktop spin. So here is the link. So let's maximize this thing. This is the URL or the website to go get the desktop spins. So I already made the Fedora 38 stable version. I made the KDE Plasma, XFCE. I completed everything. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out in my channel. They are available in this channel. So here is our desktop spin, which is you're using right now. So click on the LXDE desktop, and I'm using a VPN, so it should take a bit of delay there. So here is the description or the information for the LXDE. So here is the download button. Click on download now, and here is the download file. If you want to download, click on download. If you want to verify, you can click on verify download. The file size is around like a 1.3 GB of ISO file size, and always verify your downloading thing here. What you're downloading here, I'm downloading the Fedora 38 LXDE desktop. That's the ISO file I want to download. Click on download, and you should be having your download triggered in any second, and we should be seeing our desktop. I think here is the download. So it is running here. So let me minimize this thing. So let's go to let's click on downloads. I can't even close that thing. So that's the download process, and this is the website. So let me close this thing. Let's go back to the terminal. It's completely installed. So let's type in the command, which is inxi-sv8 now, and hit enter. So that's the command to get the complete distro information. So let's go to the preference and change the color of the terminal. Tango should be good, I guess. Let's go to the preference and change the background color. Solarize light, maybe. Let's choose this thing, and let's check out the information here. Host, it says local host live, because it's a live boot, and I didn't change I didn't rename the distro. And the kernel is 6.2.9-300, and it's a 64-bit architecture. There is no 32-bit architecture available in the Fedora Linux, so you need to remember that too. And compiler GCC version is a 2.39-9, and the WM open box version is a 3.6.1. and distro, it says Fedora release 38. Even though it's a desktop spin, it should be having like a Fedora release 38. So the desktop is a LXDE version 0.10.1. So on the machine it says VMware, because I'm running it on a VMware, which is a virtualization. So let's scroll it down, and BIOS Phoenix version is a 6.00, and RAM is almost 1.15 GB of 4 GB. I already mentioned I'm using, or I choose the 4 GB of RAM for my VMware. So here is the CPU information of my laptop. If you want, you can go through all these things. So let's scroll down again and find some other info. So on the graphics side, we have VMWGFX version is a 2.20.0.0, and on the displays it's a X11. Server is a XOG version 1.20.14. So let's scroll it down, and on the monitor you have this many of display resolution to change. And on the API, OpenGL version is a 4.1, Mesa is a 23.0.1. So let's scroll it down, and the pipewire version is a 0.3.67. so let's scroll it down again. So here are some of the information. If you want, you can choose pause the video and check that out. And I'm choosing a 80 GB of hard disk for my VMware, so it's also here. So let's scroll it down again, and here is some of the information. Process running right now are 281, uptime is 7 minutes, wake ups is 140, init systemd version is 253, and the shell bash version is a 5.2.15, and INXI version is a 3.3.26. Let's type in few other commands which will give the same information as the above but in a short form. For example, INXI and INXI-b, and again INXI -G. Click on enter. So these are the same information but in a short form. Let's type in other command, which is a cat etc:/issue. Hit enter. Here is the information again. Let's type in neofetch and htop also. These are not available because they are not installed. If you want to install, just type in sudo dnf install neofetch for neofetch and sudo dnf install for htop. So that's the commands to use. So let's exit this thing. Click on enter, and let's go to the installation process because I showed you how to download already. So let's execute the installer and try to ignore the background noise because of construction and some people are going crazy around my neighborhood. So it should take like a maximum of 20 to 30 seconds to load up the installer. It's an Anaconda installer. So I'm just going to show you the installation process. I'm not going to install it on my VMware or a hard disk because I don't want to. So this is just a procedure or the formality to install. So first you need to choose your language. Again, this is a basic installation step. There is no complicated in the installation of Linux distros. So there will be always the same installation style. So there are plenty of languages available here. You can choose on your own. I'm choosing English and English United States on the both sides. You can change on your own. Click on continue. And these are all the things you need to complete. If you complete, the red texted thing should be highlighted as a black text. So let's go through all these things. First we need to choose your hard disk or the installation destination. If you're having a multiple hard disk, you should be seeing a multiple hard disk here. If you want to encrypt, you can encrypt. Always remember, you need to be careful while choosing this thing because it's going to delete the current operating system and delete everything in the hard disk or the installation thing, and it's going to install the Fedora Linux LXDE. So be careful what you're doing here. So you need to be having an idea here. Don't just blindly click on these things because it's going to delete current operating system. So be careful while choosing these things. And let's go to the root account. If you want to enable root account, you can enable root account by providing the password. For example, and for the sake of the video, I'm choosing a simple password, which is 12345, and the warning is already here. You should click on done twice because you're using a simple password. Always use a strong password and write it down the password because you don't want to struggle with the password or scratch your head for the password trying to remember. So here is a drop down menu for the locations. You don't need to provide your actual location. You can give anything like that. You can use the drop down menu option, or you can directly click on the menu map if you know where you want. So I'm choosing Los Angeles, America. If you want to go to Australia, you can choose Australia, New Zealand, Canada. You can choose anything. I'm choosing America, Los Angeles as my locations. So network and hostname, if you want to provide your hostname, you can provide it, no problem for that. User creation, you need to provide your username and password, and again remember your username and password. You don't need to provide your actual username here. You can provide anything you want. So again, for the sake of the video, I'm choosing the simple passwords. I always use the strong password. That's a tip from me. Click on done twice. So everything is completed, and you can see there is a highlighted thing on the begin installation. So after clicking on begin installation, it's going to take a maximum of 20 minutes if you have a low-end PC. If you have a good PC, you should be having like a 5 to 10 minutes installation procedure. It should take like an installation timing up to 5 to 10 minutes. It completely depends on the Linux distro and the PC. So after installation, it's going to ask you to reboot, and you should be having your Fedora Linux LXDE on your VMware or your hard disk as a main operating system. So that's the installation process. Only use or only install it after using the live boot, because after you're satisfied with the live boot, go with the installation. Don't go just download and go with the installation directly. So that's a tip again I'm going to make you remember, because I don't want you to ruin your PC. That's a tip again and again I'm trying to bring that. So that's the installation process. So what else we left here are some of the desktop features. So let's go through all these things. Here is a clipboard 1.4.5, which is clip it, and here is the network connections. Here is the packages, date and time, lock screen, and logout options or shutdown options here. So let's try to change the desktop wallpaper if it's available. There are just four wallpapers which are completely same. So you don't get much of the wallpapers in the desktop spins or the Fedora Linux distro. So you need to add your own, and if you want to customize, you can customize it on your own. So let's check the panel, which is a LX panel 0.10.1. So here are some of the options. You can create a new panel, panel settings, all the things. You can customize it on your own by going through all these options. So let's check out the available or the pre-installed apps which comes with the Fedora Linux 38 LXDE. So here are some of the apps on the accessories: graphics, internet, office, other, programming, sound and video, system tools, preference, and the administration. These are all the available apps. Because it's a lightweight, you don't get much of the apps. You can install it on your own. So let's open some of the apps like a calculator, leaf pad, on the graphics, image viewer, internet. We already saw the Fedora version. There is a torrent client and some. Let's check out the what is it. It's a mailbox. You can do on your own like this. The version is 3.7.0. Here is the versions. Leafpad version should be 0.8.18.1. Calculator 1.4, and here is the image viewer. Let's close this thing. I think we covered everything. So let's open the file manager. We forgot to open the file manager. It's a Pacman FM 1.3.2. So what else we left? AB Word. On the internet we saw everything. Other, programming, sound and video, and system tools. We covered everything. So let's check these things and end the video. AB Word. So let's open the task manager now and see how much resources are consuming right now. First it was like 50%, and it's almost 564 MB right now still. Again, it's a lightweight Linux distro. It's clearly up to you to use this Linux distro or not. So in the beginning of the video there was a CPU high peak. I don't know why it was going like that. It was going up to like a 1 GB of RAM, and the CPU was almost 50 to 60%. I don't know, but right now it's almost 564 MB and the CPU is also 3%. So these are all the processors running right now. So it's clearly up to you to judge and use this Linux distro or not. It's clearly up to you. So even if you have a 2 GB of RAM, you can use that for this Linux distro. So it's clearly up to you to use this Linux distro or not. So I think that's it for the video. And I will be posting another video. I already posted a video today, so I'll be posting 2 videos daily. So if you want to watch the other content, watch this video completely and go to the other content. There is also a video available there in my channel. If you want to check that out, you can check that out. So let's check the version, which is 2.1.2. again, let's end this video. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It helps make a good content for you. Other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.